Want to introduce Danny Start. He's a professional hypnotist, past life regressionist. He's been doing this for many, many years. Good friend of mine. We're also practitioners at the Newton Institute. And I want to talk about Danny because Danny is doing a past life and hypnosis training. He is certified to do that through the Newton Institute. And want to learn a little bit more about your process, Danny, how it works, your
Mhm.
particular style of training.
Yeah, well, no, lovely to see you again, James.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I've been a hypnotherapist and a past life regressionist for about 10 years now, and I've got my own clinical practice where I see people for all sorts of things, for just overcoming addictions, phobias, fears. But in the last 10 years, my work's moved more to the spiritual, and when people go into hypnosis, they drop out of the conscious mind and they're able to access the spiritual realms, whether that be a past life, whether that be their soul memories. And when they access these, they're also able to heal themselves as well. So when people might come for normal kind of, anxieties or emotional problems or traumas, often we will do a spiritual session and they will be able to completely overcome any of their anxieties or fears. So, yeah, I've kind of spent the last number of years devising a lot of different techniques that I've kind of brought from neuro-linguistic programming.
Hmm.
So I've done a lot of training in that area. And then I've kind of obviously hypnotherapy and NLP go together really well. They dovetail beautifully together. And then you can move some of that into the spiritual realm. But yeah, so I've just kind of worked on a number of different techniques to combine to make something even more powerful.
I like that. Yeah, you mentioned like especially with your training, and I know when I went through training, a lot of times hypnosis training isn't really geared towards past life training. So, kind of the
Yeah.
course you're teaching is, the major is going to be in not just past lives. I think that people think just past lives, but it's spiritual connection, higher self, parts
Yeah.
therapy, right? And so you're in the hypnosis you're teaching is really getting people prepared to be the best practitioner they can. And if they want, eventually at some point, either join the MNI Institute, but you're prepping them to be the best they can be, right?
Yeah. So there's three modules, there's 3 main weeks where we're going to be doing the trainings. And I've kind of used a template of the Michael Newton Institute Life Between Lives course because they had a team of experts design their course, and it was worked out to do it in 3 separate weeks, and in between those weeks to be having some practice sessions and to be doing some case studies. And so they really designed a course that was the best possible course. So my course, my Beyond Hypnotherapy Diploma, is designed and formatted similar to the way they've laid their course out. So the first week will be teaching everything they need to know about change work, about hypnotherapy, about how to get someone into hypnosis, how to be a confident therapist as well. So there'll be a lot of counseling skills taught as well. There's also going to be a bunch of things such as how to be the best therapist. So teaching you about working on yourself as well. So it's essential that you're able to not get triggered during a session and you'll manage your own emotions, because during past lives hypnotherapy sessions, often some big things can come up, big emotional the client. So you've got to make sure you've resolved any of your own personal issues. So you can sit there and lovingly, with a powerful presence, hold space with them. So the first week is teaching you how to do hypnotherapy, teaching you how to be a great clinical hypnotherapist. So anyone could come in and you'll be able to help them.
I,
And
I
it's
love
also
that.
going
And
to,
just, and also I want to piggyback on that because it's really important that I found is by working on yourself, right? Working with your inner shadow, inner work, you need to be ready for that, right? This work you're dealing with, a lot of times I find people come with problems, right? Most
yeah,
people have
yeah,
a problem. They're trying to overcome something. And so by holding space for somebody means that you have to be good in your own psyche, right? To be there.
exactly.
So that's
Exactly.
important.
Yeah. So it definitely is. Um, and the other thing that, I've done many courses over the years, and I've learnt some wonderful things on how to run a course and how to be a good therapist. But I've also seen how not to run a course.
Mhm.
There are many hypnotherapy trainings that I literally roll my eyes at what they're doing and what they're teaching people. Um, Many hypnotherapists, they mean well, but some of them don't know how to actually run a course professionally.
Mhm.
So they often spend a lot of time talking and telling stories and not actually helping the students develop and learn. So the real way students learn is by practicing. So what
Mhm.
every day on the course, the students will practice at some point. And I'm doing a course at the moment where I'm just helping someone, and the students are not practicing because they're just listening and listening. And you can see them getting a bit frustrated because they want to practice this stuff and they're not always given the opportunities. So every day on the course, either a third of the day or half the day, or maybe even more, they're going to be practicing. And
I love that.
what's important, yeah, is for me to do some teaching at the beginning to give them some idea, then give them a demonstration so they can see how it actually happens, whether that be parts therapy, whether that be taking someone, into just deep into hypnosis, whatever it is. Then they will go into breakout rooms and they will be with a partner. And to start with, they will be given some scripts because when we're first learning, it can help to have some kind of idea of what to say. But over the days, that will get less and less, and it will be more coming from their intuition. But to start with, it's helpful to have the training wheels on. And every day they will go into breakout rooms where they will practice. And in those breakout rooms, there will either be an assistant or myself, or they will be recorded. So what they do in those sessions, they will get some feedback on. Because what's really helped me grow as a therapist was having other therapists watch my sessions and then lovingly give me some feedback
Mhm.
and say, Danny, what you done there was brilliant. That was really good. And sometimes I hadn't realized something I'd done was really good. I'd almost
Yeah.
dismissed it a little bit. And they were, like, oh no, when you said that, Danny, that really made a difference. And I was like, wow, okay. And they were like, oh, and Danny, when you did that, you might have kind of lost a client a little bit. And so they've shown me a couple of little things, nuances where I can adjust and change. And getting that feedback um, has
That's
been
key. Yeah, that's really key.
key in me becoming a better therapist. So that's one of the key things I'm bringing into this course is every day the students will practice. And sometimes it might only be a quick 20-minute practice.
Mhm.
Sometimes it might be for 4 hours practicing. But every day they will go into breakout rooms. And that way they also get to know the other students on the class as well. They get a
Mhm.
time to not be in a big group. I mean, there's only going to be 6 students on the course, I think,
Got
because
it.
I want a small amount of numbers because we keep it quite intimate. And that way people will learn better rather than there being 30, 40 on the course. And
I
then I
like
can
that.
really, yeah, I can really focus my attention on those 6 students.
Yeah, when you have a smaller class, you tend to, I know in my first training that I did, I kept in contact with the people that I originally trained with. So you create a bond with these people,
Yeah,
and um,
exactly.
and by practicing, it's one thing to learn something, but oftentimes you'll read a book, you'll go through it, and you'll be like, "What did I read?"
Yeah,
And
exactly. Yeah,
you have to, like the analogy of you got to throw the ball around, you have to let it stick, right? And so
yeah,
practicing is key. So that's important. I like
yeah,
that.
exactly. Yeah. So during the training days, they will be practicing, but also in between, like you said, we're going to set up a WhatsApp group. So they will be, they will need to partner with everyone during the course at some point during the breaks.
Got
Um,
it.
so there'll be 5 other people that they will need to arrange a session with at some point. And that session could be half an hour, it could be 3 hours, whatever they want to do. I just want
Mhm.
each student over the course of the 4 months of the course to at some point connect with each other student and do a quick Zoom or face to face if they can, but do it on Zoom or even FaceTime if they have to, and then practice a little technique or just connect and exchange some ideas. So they really get to know each other. They really get to learn with each other and grow with each other as well.
I like that. And then, so for you, so with this training, the hypnosis is prepping them for the past life part. So that second
Yeah.
module, what's the second
The
module?
second module, yeah, so that's going to focus on past life regression, past life therapy as well, and connecting with spirit guides, higher self, and moving into the spiritual realm and doing deeper soul work as well.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah,
past
that's
life
important.
regression, there's many ways of accessing these past lives. So, they'll be taught a number of different ways, but also it's the past life therapy part as well, which is really, really essential. I think it's Roger Walger. I don't
Hmm.
know.
Yeah, Wilger. I love, yeah, Roger Wilger. Great work.
Yeah, so he does some, does some great research. And Helen Wambach,
Hmm.
um, Life After Life, I think her book's called.
Yep. I think I
And
have that book here somewhere.
yeah, I think you
Yeah.
showed it to me the other day. Yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah, they have, they've done some great pioneering work on how to actually do the therapy.
Hmm.
Um, because it's good to just experience a past life and you can get a lot of healing from that. But there's also a great amount of therapy you can do, releasing and getting rid of traumatic karmas that are often affecting you in this current life.
Yeah. I think people, once they learn that it's just beyond past lives, right? The past lives are just one territory that you can explore. But once you get into this inner landscape, spirit guides, loved ones that have passed on,
Yeah.
you have inner child that could show up. You could work with energy releasement, and moving into spiritual landscapes, Akashic records, and there's
Yeah,
so many different
exactly.
things we can do. And I think I love, like, that we're on the same style of teaching, right? It's beyond past lives. There's something far greater. And if you learn the techniques a little bit, then you're not just a past life therapist, you're a spiritual therapist, right? Basically.
Yeah, exactly. That's why the course is called Beyond
Yeah, there you go.
Hypnotherapy Diploma, Beyond Past Lives, because that's what Michael Newton actually said. He said, the next wave of therapists are going to take my work far beyond. And
Hmm.
that's what this course is teaching people to do, to learn the basics, learn how to help people with hypnotherapy, and then learn then how to take people into the spiritual realm, work with their soul, work with the higher self. And yeah, and then, once you start doing this work, it changes you as a person. You
Oh,
start
yeah.
realizing just how magnificent everyone is, that we all
Hmm.
are, and that we can all create whatever kind of life we want to have.
Yeah, I mean, this is a very fulfilling work to do. Not
Mm,
only are you working on yourself, because when you connect with someone, you're in a session with someone and they're connecting with their higher self, or something evolved, you're witnessing that. So you're kind of a fly on the wall and you're experiencing what they're experiencing, but that knowledge stays with you. All of a sudden, you have
yeah,
all these sessions, the knowledge is there. You can't unknow the knowledge. And so you become a better person. I know 5 years ago to now, I feel like a completely different person as far as my perspective on life. Even though we still have our life, right? We're going to get sick and old. People are going to die. Life is going to give us challenges and joys. But when you have a bigger perspective on it, you're not taking it personal. You realize the lessons involved and you learn from it, and you learn not to make the same mistakes that past lifestyles have made and that other people are
mm,
making. And you learn, you become more like the teacher at the end of the day. You become the wise teacher. And we all
yeah.
have it within ourselves, right? For sure.
No, no, no. Exactly, exactly. Doing this work changes you, because once you realize, and then you're hearing your clients, meet their spirit guides. You're hearing your
Hmm.
clients connect with their higher self, their soul group, and you can see on their face and hearing their voice that this is real for them. You can see the tears in their eyes, and you know that they are experiencing something profound.
Hmm.
And when you hear that enough times, it's a little bit almost. I mean, I used to study a lot about near-death experiences. I was in a coma years ago, and I didn't really have a near-death experience, but that coma kind of changed me a little bit, and it made me really look into near-death experiences. And when people have near-death experiences, about 90% of them are forever changed. They are no longer worried about the materialistic side of life. They no longer fear things that used to worry them. And that's very much like doing spiritual hypnosis. It takes the fear, the sting out of life, because you know you are so much more. And yeah, and it's been wonderful doing this work for a number of years. And you just, absorb it without even thinking about it. And then it just makes you, well, it's helped make me just a more relaxed, happy, easygoing person. But also it's made me realize that anyone, once they focus, they can achieve whatever they really want from life.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, intention is everything. I think that's what
Mm.
I really focus on lately is who do you want to be, envisioning what this individual is like, becoming the version you want to be, and then we're helping our clients become the version they want to be, right?
Yeah,
Release
yeah.
release the past, access higher wisdom, and then live this life with as much purpose and energy as possible. And we're helping people, we're helping people learn about the past and to make the present the best they can be,
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. And with that intention, one of the things they'll be learning on the first week, module one, is how to make a well-formed outcome, which is like
Mhm.
from NLP. And it just, when you sit there and you create this well-formed outcome, it's this setting that intention, that goal of what it is the person wants to achieve. And I heard someone say that sometimes clients turn up and they're a bit vague and they're a little bit not 100% certain on what it is. They just want to feel better.
Mhm.
And then it's almost like you're just sending something towards the target. But when you have a well-formed outcome, you're aiming something like a laser straight at the
Mhm.
bullseye. You're then going, right, that's where we're going. And you know it, you're focused. And when our minds and when our attention is focused, then we're much more likely to achieve what it is we really want to achieve. So yeah, that's something that they will learn to do in the first week, is get that well-formed outcome from their
Yep.
clients, take them deeply into hypnosis, and then start doing some of this change work.
I love it. And then for your module 3, what are you doing in that module?
Yeah, so module 3 is going to really, by then we will look over the students, any areas that they're struggling with, any areas that they want to work on more. So a lot of it's going to be practice, practice, practice. It's going to be anything that they think, right, this is something that they need to work on.
Uh-huh.
It's also going to cover marketing and business, because it's great knowing about spiritual hypnosis. It really is, and past lives. But if you don't know how to find clients, then you end up sitting in an empty therapy room all on your own with all these wonderful ideas, these wonderful techniques. So it's really important to spend a little bit of time just working out how you're going to actually get clients. When you become a Michael Newton Institute facilitator, you actually get sent a lot of clients from the Michael Newton Institute via the website. But to get clients for hypnotherapy and past life and just spiritual hypnosis, it's really good to learn how to bring those clients to you, how to set up your business, your website, how to get the social media working for you. So one of the things that all the students will be doing is they will, there'll be certain things they've got to do to pass the course. I will give them all their help to make sure they all do. But one of the things will be to run a group hypnotherapy session. Now that could be 2 people, it could be 200, could be their 2 best friends, as long as it's a group session. And then they have to design a flyer or an advert on maybe Canva or something to promote this group session, and then
Nice.
post it on social media with maybe a link to this to it. So they need to do this. And I had done this on a course before, and it really helped me start learning how to get clients.
Mhm.
I had to go on, I didn't even know what Canva was. I had to learn
Yeah.
out what Canva was. I had to create some kind of image for free hypnotherapy session. I'd done it on weight loss. I think I had about 15 people
Yeah.
join for this weight loss session, and I didn't know what I was doing, but I did it, and everyone was reasonably happy afterwards. But it
Yeah.
really pushed me, it really challenged me, it really unnerved me to start with. I was like, blow me in hell. But
Yeah.
afterward, the sense of achievement was amazing, and it taught me so many things. And
Yeah.
this is one of the things with hypnotherapists is many people, I'd say about 80% of people on hypnotherapy courses never go on to have a career that they would like to have had from it, because life gets in the way. And it's not like I'm a physiotherapist as well. So I went to university for 4 years. And when I came out of university, I applied to jobs, and then someone gave me the job, and they gave me X amount of money and told me to be there for 5 days a week. That was it.
Hmm.
But that doesn't happen as a hypnotherapist, or very, very, very rarely, or not to start with anyway. You have to go and make that business. You have to find those clients. And that's
Yeah.
why many students, come away, and they don't carry on and find clients or practice in those few months, that year afterwards, then they forget what they're doing. They lose confidence,
Yeah.
and
And
they
I think,
never
and I
go
think
on.
with you, right, you're helping with this kind of work is you're not only are you teaching the course, but, with your community set up, you're able to help them with business, right? And, I know I'll be a part of your training as well. And what I've learned is just starting, right? Just working with doing a session, right? Maybe it's for free. Maybe it's, maybe you're doing, I know the first few sessions that I did were for free. And then I started, a Google business, and,
Yeah,
I got a website up, and I
yeah,
then just, even $100 Google ad, you can do that. You could find people at local yoga and healing modalities, offer your services. And the first year is really just putting yourself out there, working with someone, and you do the first 10 sessions, you're going to be comfortable, either group or one-on-one, and you start just taking it slow. It's taking me, I've been doing this for a long time, but I know the first couple years it was just trial and error. But by learning the foundations of what you're teaching and just getting those few first sessions in with your help, right, with the coaching that you'll
mhm,
provide, right? I think that's important, having ongoing coaching for people, and a way to have feedback. That's what I didn't have when I first started. I was on
yeah,
my own. So having someone to lean on and have a question, and you're providing them the tools they need in the beginning, you're just really like, just go out and get somebody. It's much easier than you think it is. And so lastly for you, like, is there anything last as a new student that's maybe thinking about doing this training with you? Is there anything you'd want to tell them that you haven't said yet?
Well, I should say as well, they're going to get free mentoring, group mentoring, and individual mentoring for a year after the course.
That's perfect. That's what they need. That's important. That's high
Yeah,
value for sure.
no, exactly, exactly. Like you said, that's the bits that often is left out. Yeah, well, I think this is, wonderful work to be doing. And I'll just say to people, just sense in your heart if this is the direction you should be going in. Because for me, it was a big step becoming a hypnotherapist. It was moving out of
Yeah.
my comfort zone. It was woo woo. It was something that I was very unsure about. But my heart said this was helping people, taking people into the spiritual realm, taking people into hypnosis. My heart, Joseph Campbell says, to know where you need to be in life, you need to follow your bliss. If you follow
Hmm.
your bliss, that's what you're passionate about, what your heart says, it will lead you in the right direction. So I want to say to people is, if they feel that this is something they'd like to do, and then it also is important, do they feel that they would want to work with me? And James, because James, you're going to be helping out as well, James, aren't you? You're going to be teaching your soul journey technique, which is a wonderful technique for people to learn. And I'm
Yep.
delighted that you're going to be on the course teaching that, and then on the past life as well for some point. So if people feel like they'd want to work with me and learn James's soul journey technique, and they feel that this is the path they want to go, then yeah, give me a call and we'll have a discussion and see if we're a right fit for each other. Because also I want the right people on the course as well.
Of
It's
course. Yeah.
important to get good people.
Yeah. 100%. All right, Danny, I appreciate it, my friend. I'm looking
Yeah,
forward to the training, and then we'll do more of these videos for sure. Until then, wishing you happy holidays, my friend, for
yeah.
sure.
And you too, James. Been great chatting with you. Have a great Thanksgiving.
You too, buddy.
Take care, buddy.